Well, it's
Oh,
happening. I'm gonna do this over here. Morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to our weekly producers club. I'm gonna use my little cell phone over here to admit people while but we're gonna be right over there. Thanks for joining us. We're here in our brand new social media setup, as you can see, and I have the pleasure to have Emilio Plascencia as my guest today. So thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, appreciate you.
How have you been?
Fantastic, Meny. Can't complain. Yeah,
So, and we're also live on Instagram through Emilio's channel. So thanks to all those who join us. So tell me, right? What's your story? Like, how did you get into doing real estate?
sure. Yeah, I mean, so this is gonna go into my fourth year now, right? So I started in real estate in 2020, 2021. I got my license in 2020, right? But before that, I was a regional sales manager for about 15 years for a consumer credit company. And during like the previous to the pandemic, I was already thinking about making the transition into entrepreneurship, right? And I think I've said the story before, what I saw real estate do for my family and then what it did for me in the early 2000s really intrigued me. So that's kind of what, made me kind of go into getting my license and all that good stuff. So when the pandemic hit, everything stopped. And so that was a good time for me to just kind of get into real estate mode, right? And I was able to then get my license and then start with the brokerage with Keller Williams.
So you're what I call in a positive way, like a pandemic agent.
Pandemic baby.
Pandemic baby. That's what it is, which is interesting because like you don't really know anything different. It's not like you had some practice before, and then pandemic happened, you're like, oh my God, what's going on? Like you're conditioned to do business in a very specific manner from the very beginning.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So how would you define that? Like when you started your career, right? What was the focus? Because you couldn't go and traditionally right away, donut, do the open houses with 50 people coming in and out.
Right. Yeah. No, yeah, I recently was at a Jeff Glover event, and one of the things that he asked the crowd is, how many of you did not an open house, but a grand opening of your business?
Huh.
Right? And when I thought about that question, I internalized it and I said, okay, my way of letting the world know that I was in real estate is I got my iPhone, I downloaded the database from there. And then one by one, I started calling everybody that was in there. And at the time it was about maybe, I don't know, 300-400 people. Right?
Really?
So I started calling them, letting them know what I was doing now. And mind you, I was still in transition. I was still at my 9 to 5, but from that point forward, my mindset was, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go 100%. Right?
Yes.
And so that's kind of, my mindset was, let's just focus on real estate going forward.
Yeah. So that was the switch.
The little switch, yeah, that's switch.
Now, how did you decide about going after a specific clientele? Was that demographic? Was that the farm? Was that your sphere?
That's a good question, because when I first started, I didn't really know about all that, right? I learned that, and I think one of the benefits of coming in during the pandemic, because we couldn't go anywhere, we couldn't meet clients at the time, right? It was more about educating myself and how I wanted to structure my business, right? So through our mentorship program here with Keller Williams, I was able to kind of bounce ideas off of my mentor. And, with her help, I was able to kind of formulate, okay, this is how I want to structure my business, right? So at the beginning, it was just nonstop, either outbound calling to my sphere or outbound calling through our dialer. So trying to get new business, introducing myself to the neighborhood. So one thing I did know is that I wanted Woodland Hills to be my farm. I wanted that to be, because I knew it, I lived in it, and it was easy for me to identify with that community.
And they say real estate is a local business, right? So you made it local in the sense of that's where I live, that's what I want to control,
right? Yeah.
Right, dominate.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Yeah, fast forward to now. I tell anybody that wants to listen, invest in Woodland Hills, just because of all the booming that's going to happen. I mean, the LA Rams are coming.
Mhm.
They're going to have their HQ here, and at the Warner Center, and they're gonna be building out that 10,000 seat stadium at some point,
Right.
for different things, so right now is the time to invest here in Woodland Hills.
Oh, big time, yeah, can't wait for the traffic as well, so.
It's a little plug.
Yeah, hey, it's okay, it's just you can't stop progress, right? You have to be part of it,
Right, yeah,
right? So, yes, absolutely, I believe it's a good timing to establish yourself as the local expert, as we say,
right,
in whatever capacity, so you're doing it here in Woodland Hills.
right, yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Tell me about your niche, sports entertainment. How did you go about that, and what's the goal?
Right. Yeah, I mean, naturally, just growing up playing sports and all that good stuff, but just translating into business, being able to, I take it more from the education side. Right? You hear all these stories about, previous athletes that are making tons of money, but don't know how to allocate it or be able to use the resources to be able to grow that. Right? So with the sports and entertainment division that I'm a part of with KW, it's, about education, about mentorship, and then it's about representation, right? And just like in any other field and with any other traditional client, is you want to establish your credibility with them, and you want to establish your reputation with them, and most importantly, the trust, right? So I've had the opportunity now to work with three, we're pretty heavily on the sports and entertainment division, we're pretty heavy on the sports side.
Mhm.
But, not a whole lot of people are paying attention to the entertainment side. I think that's a huge upside, especially here in LA.
Sure.
Right, so I had the opportunity to work with one athlete and then two entertainers, right? And it's very specific because obviously they're doing their thing, right? And our job is to have them do their thing. If they're playing football, playing basketball, that's their focus, to take care of their family. Or if they're an entertainer, a singer, an actress, that's their job. And our job is to be able to find their wants and needs, and then make it an easy transition. And so,
Exactly.
earlier this year, I was tasked, I had a referral. So I have a referral partner with my team, and I had a referral brought to me, and she's a professional singer, and she was out in Europe doing her European tour. And we had a specific time frame where she needed to be here, and she needed to be in a certain pocket, and we were able to do that and took those two boxes. So there's a lot of communication, and obviously, given the time zones are different, so you're working in different aspects of the job, right? So if it's midnight that I'm working, or if it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon that I'm working, we have to be there for them.
Right.
So, kind of full circle. I mean, the whole thing about the sports entertainment for me is just, I enjoy the sports part of it, and I enjoy, just being able to educate our clients, and I'll talk a little bit about, our partnership with our NIL partnership too. So, but go ahead.
No, yeah, I mean, go for it, yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, and this is truly a plug to our partners. BSM Vision is one of our biggest projects that we have going on right now. And for those that don't know, NIL is a big proponent of college athletes now. So where they can monetize their name, image, and like. So that's NIL stands for name, image, like.
Mhm.
And so we're helping these college athletes, even at the high school level, as they're getting into college, and once they're into college, we've already gotten some sponsorship deals, right? Whether it be with Nike, Reebok, Adidas, whatever the case may be, right? And so while they're, again, doing their thing and being student athletes, it's a hard thing, right? Their main focus is to be, one, a student, and then perform at the highest level on the field, whatever their sport is. And then our job is to work with BSM Vision and the Balcazars, helping them out, get sponsorship deals for these particular clients. And then they're broadcasting it out to social media, right? So that's how they're able to now grow their base.
Smart, yeah.
So everywhere from the marketing to their exposure, and then right now we have a couple of players. I mean, in a week, it's a big day for us. We're having a couple of players that are going up for the NFL draft. So pretty sweet.
So basically that's your value add,
Exactly.
right? In addition to, I'm gonna be the person who's gonna take care of your housing situation, right? If it's on the resident side, or if it's on the investment side.
Right.
But there's some value add as well.
Exactly. Right. And then a lot of them come to us by saying, if they're on the professional level, and then maybe they're on the tail end of their career, they may say, what, I'm thinking about my next 5 years. What's my exit strategy? I've already invested with you. Now I want to be on either on your team or an extension of your team,
Mhm.
right? So what is a K-score? Is that what it's called?
Mhm, K-score, yeah.
Our K-score, we get, we give them the education to get their license.
Right.
And then if they live in Atlanta, New York, whatever city they're in, they're an extension of our team from there, that point forward. Right?
Smart.
And then we're also mentoring them through the whole process. And once they get to their end goal, then we're there as a allied resource, and referral partner.
Exactly. Yes, it's about the network, right?
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of different ways we go about it, and that's why I said again, for me, it's about the education. And then being able to mentor them, and then obviously the representation comes with time.
Mhm.
Yes, and what I mean by representation is on the real estate side, right? We're talking about whether it's residential, commercial, investment properties that they're looking at. So we're building out a network nationwide where we're giving them vetted properties, whether it's North Carolina, Mississippi, wherever they want to invest. And we're giving them vetted properties with return on investment already set. I'm not calling them to tell you how many, we have a property in Mississippi that you may be interested in. Now, we're already giving you cap rates, return on investment, what it all that means.
Sure.
And here's a property, are you interested in? Right, and then they make the decision from there.
Right. Based on returns, available cash.
Exactly.
Right. Willingness.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a great niche, I'm enjoying it, and again, with our partnership that we have right now at the college level, I mean, it's only gonna take off from there.
Yeah.
So,
And it's impressive because in a very short period of time, relatively, you figure out like what you want to go after.
Right.
And that's really what holds people back in achieving success faster.
Mhm.
When I say success, I mean, in a way of because people, will attribute success in different ways, in a sense of consistent outcome.
Right.
Right. So you've been very consistent with identifying like what do you want to go after, and then you're basically mastering that skill, right?
Right, yeah.
How do you keep that education, that you staying in shape in that sense?
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously through our KW offices, you're providing a lot of education for us, but I also go out and seek different ways of educating myself, right? I mean, in today's day and age, it's pretty impossible not to be able to get on a podcast or listen to some kind of YouTube video, but you're always trying to sharpen your skills, right? Because you never know who you're gonna meet. And that's what the beauty of real estate for me is, that, one day I may be helping us, first-time home buyer, right? And then the next time I'm working with a college athlete, and the next time I'm working with somebody, I mean, I'm doing it all, but at the same time, I'm kind of now narrowing it down to just like, what am I really good at?
Mhm.
And I'll stick to that, right? So year 4 is about, okay, don't go this way, and then really deep with your clients, right? So that you make sure that this 5th year, 6th year, 7th year is just starts to explode, and it's happening already.
Yeah, and it's the same concept of investment. It's at the ROI, right? Return on the investment.
Right.
So focus on something as deep as you can. A lot of focus. The one thing basically,
Right.
as we taught it, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, I mean, it's just, just learning from, you always want to be learning based, right? So I'm always inconsistent. If I see a top producer at the office, I won't go in directly talk to him, right? But I will ask him, can I get 5 minutes of your time one day, right? And it's almost like a rite of passage, right? You can't just go to a Meny Atias and say, hey, Meny, come over here, let's go to lunch. You gotta, come back to me maybe in a week, and then I'll go to lunch with you, right? But it's almost like you have to earn that right, to be able to sit down in that table, so to speak, right? And for me, it's been, I think I told you that this over lunch, and it might sound a little weird the way I'm kind of explaining it, but I call it my kill list, right? Is when I came into real estate, I said, okay, who are the top producers? And I'm writing your names down, and I'm coming after you in a good way, right? Meaning I'm my own competition, but I also know who the top producers are, right? And as I climb the ladder and we continue to help out families with real estate, through real estate, is I'm climbing the ladder in the rankings of different offices, right? So to the point that, we'll be number 1.
And it does show humility, which I think it's a very important key to success, to be humble, and you definitely lead by it as well, right? It's also adding value because humility lets you understand in a reflective way am I number one? Or do I have places to grow?
Right,
Right?
Yeah.
And that's part of the environment that you choose to be part of as well.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, and that's part of, who you surround yourself with. Obviously, they say what is the five people you surround yourself with is, who you're always gonna be, right? And, so I always seek out, who are the goats of real estate.
The goats.
And, and then just also in my personal life, who's gonna bring value? Who can I bring value to, and who's gonna bring value to me on a personal level, right? And so those things that I try to surround myself, because, you are the sum of the five people you surround yourself with.
Exactly. Yeah. Your shirt, hashtag your realtor MVP,
Right.
right? Did you come up with that?
Actually, my little brother, he's a great marketing mind. So Fernando, if you're out there, you made this happen here, buddy. Yeah.
I saw a few Plascencias over here, so you might, I don't know. They took it over the screen.
Is that like 3 million Plascencias in there? Yeah. No, yeah, but this is my uniform, when I go out
Right.
into the world, I put on this shirt, it's like my Superman cape.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, all right, Emilio's the quiet guy in the corner during the day, but when he comes into these doors, it's game on, let's get that persona out, and so it's my Superman cape, it's
I love that, and just to represent, I came today with the SNE, Sports Entertainment shirt, just for Emilio, but because I don't have any tattoos, right?
Yeah.
But it's pretty much like having, like replace your tattoo on a daily basis, right? By having some kind of a statement.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and this is also it kind of, the MVP part of this, right? So it says your realtor MVP,
Mhm.
most valuable player, right?
Right,
You gotta rise to the occasion if you're gonna put that on your chest.
right. Yeah.
So it reminds me, every time I go into an appointment, put your best foot forward, obviously you're doing things right for your client and for your client, but at the same time, you have to bring the heat, you have to bring your A game.
Yeah, so let's talk about the A game and that mentality, the Mamba.
Oh, the Mamba mentality, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about that, because you're since the first day I met you, I remember you always been, okay, I gotta plug into that mindset,
Right.
mindset. Like, so where is it came, what does it come from? And how do you keep maintaining that attitude? Because
Right.
that's really the hardest muscle to maintain, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I think it all comes from the background that I come from, the family. I mean, I'm one of six, so we're a pretty big family, mom and dad and things like that, but
Yeah.
that's always coming from trying to be the best version of yourself, right? So the Mamba mentality is every day try to be the best version of yourself, right? So in my business plan, when I first started in real estate, I wrote it down, be the best realtor version of yourself. Right? I'm not trying to emulate somebody else. Yeah, you'll take bits and pieces from everybody, but how can I make it myself, right? So for those that are sports fans, that Mamba mentality comes from Kobe Bryant, and we're in the Mamba year, 2024, right? And so I took
Very true.
right? Yeah,
Love that.
we're in the Mamba year, so this is the year the business takes off, right? But the whole-
Hashtag the Mamba year.
There you go.
I'm gonna add that.
There you go. Yeah, so the whole mentality comes from, competing against yourself, right? Enjoying the journey. So from day one, I mean, this has been head over heels. I mean, the best experience I've gone through in my career as far as professionally, right? Is from day one, the people I've met, the experiences that I've had so far, has just been out of this world, and for me, that's the journey is the biggest thing. The end game is gonna happen no matter what, right? And that all encompasses, right? So in regards to like my day-to-day activity, my focus is, okay, once I go into my call sessions to prospect, lead generate, right? I have to have a certain focus and a certain mindset that I'm gonna project a level of confidence to my clients, even if they don't even, this is the first time you heard from me, right? That comes from, again, pointing into that Mamba mentality of just getting after it, being the best version of yourself, and then just giving your best at that one point, and then whatever happens from there happens. I'm not gonna control the outcome.
Very much alike in professional sports or any really high level, what I call like A player mentality, the past is in the past.
Right.
And the future, you need to know where you're going, but you don't really have control. But whatever you're doing every single day, present,
Right.
that's what they say, like be present,
Right.
right? That's what counts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and, I was kind of starting off the conversation or the comment that I was saying about the mom mentality about the family, it's when you're one of six and you're the second to the youngest,
Mhm.
right? Is sometimes you get spoiled, but most of the time you get beat up. You know what I mean? Because you're just got, you're the little one, you're the lowest form of the totem pole, right? And so you always have to compete against your older siblings, right?
Yeah.
It was always a competition.
Always to prove yourself.
Exactly, right? So it's always that constant. And now it's not so much who can I prove it to someone else, it's how you can prove it to yourself,
Sure.
right? And so you always challenge yourself in that aspect. So you're always trying to find the different angles of, okay, if I do this way, can I get there faster? If I do this way, or even ask questions, right? Ask questions of how can I get to my end game faster? Because I don't have to reinvent the wheel here. There's a lot of knowledge in these offices and the peers and the mentors that I've had in the past that I can pick up the phone. And you guys have all been there for me every step of the way. So
Yeah, well, it's always mutual.
right.
So I think when you give someone a compliment, it's pretty much like mirroring like what you think you're worth as well in a
Right.
way, right?
Right.
Can be also a negative way.
Yeah.
So, and one more thing, like from experience, because I have younger siblings as well, so I concur what you just said. But you also have a very unique ability to act like the big brother, the mentor to others because of that, life experience.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you take everything that recently I've been reflecting on all of that. Why am I wired the way I am, right? And it obviously comes from my upbringing and my siblings, but then you go into the professional, world and, there's a lot of mentors that I've had in the past that have helped me build this confidence, help me say, okay, you're the top dog. Now you take it over, right? I've given you everything that you need to do. Now you go and return the favor to somebody else, right? So, we are bringing on, a buyer agent that I have right now, and then I'm gonna be mentoring this person. And so
Right.
it's exciting already. We've been together for about a month now, and it's just exciting things.
Yeah, I was about to ask you next about the Placencia group, meaning, you already have like a couple of people on your group, right? So what's the goal? Like, where are you guys going?
Yeah, well, right now we brought on, this past 2 years, we brought on a referral partner. And then we're bringing on a buyer's agent. Obviously we have our transaction coordinator, our great escrow team. We have our great title rep, that helps us put together the game plan. So we're meeting with our title rep at least twice a week.
Right.
Just strategizing, what can we do better on this listing? Because we want to continue to build on every listing, get another listing and get more buyers and things like that. So we're always kind of focusing on that. So that's the entire team. Where we're going, I don't know. I'm just gonna have fun with it, mentor the buyer's agent we have, continue to work with our referral partners. Zoom calls is a big part of that as well. We didn't talk about Zoom calls yet.
As the concierge, yeah.
Right, as a concierge, right? But they've been good to me. We closed 2 deals last year together. And so all that is just creating more opportunity for our team. It creates opportunity and different ways of navigating this crazy real estate world for our clients, so giving them those opportunities.
Yeah, and it's really also knowing how to utilize the tools that you have available, or the resources,
Right.
and leverage those, to benefit your clients, and that's how you get that, larger, bigger
Right,
pool of people that, would want to use the services as
Right.
well, right?
right, yeah.
Value add.
Yeah, so again, right now, we're kind of playing it by ear a little bit, but we do have, some big goals this year. And, they're gonna be a big part of it, just to kind of help us leverage time. We can't get back time. My goal is this year is just to become be the number one choice in Woodland Hills as a listing agent.
Yes, yeah, and we every time we talk, right, it's about manifesting,
Right,
and really put it out there, right? So
Right.
now you share this with like hundreds of people,
Yeah.
thousands of people, after, it's gonna be online, etc. And that's really how you should go about promoting yourself,
right,
and stand behind it too.
right.
That's
Yeah, I mean, and we're very strategic with the partners that we bring on. Right? It has to make sense for us. It has to make sense for them, right? And what their wants and needs, and if it's something that aligns with where we're going. And so, it's not, it's not for everybody. The Mullen mentality is not for everybody, but at the same time, we do welcome those that want to be a part of our team, you know, to kind of strive in this real estate world and kind of just have fun with it, because at the end of the day, you know, right now this is the most transactions I've had going on at one time. We have 4 escrows going.
Congratulations.
And,
Congrats.
and so for me, it's like, okay, how do I juggle all this, right? Because now we have all these other leads that we have that I can't handle myself, so I'm kind of starting to dish those out to some of our team members.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. And, you know, again, just to, you know, do like landmarks, if you may, but pandemic, that's the beginning of your career.
Yeah,
And then 2 very lean years, 22, 23 in business, right? 2021 were pandemic, and then 22, 23, just, you know, I mean, it was one of the best years in business volume wise, but units, we know the story there.
right.
And now this year is another transitional year, again, going into whatever NAR changes gonna come upon us, right? Commissions and stuff like that. How do you prepare yourself for that, by the way?
Yeah. For me, it's opportunity. When I heard about this, the situation with NAR, right? For me, it's opportunity, and change is one inevitable. It's always gonna happen, so be ready for change, right? And I learned that at a very young age, just because, again, we were moving around a lot as kids, right? Translate that into a professional spectrum. I mean, it's the business that I was in before real estate. It was always evolving. It was always changing. So you have to change with the times. But for me, with the NAR situation, it's going to give us a lot of opportunity for those that are doing this at a high level, that are taking this as what it is. And I respect the real estate game a lot over the years a couple of years that I've been doing it. As I respect it a lot, because it is something that we're doing. I mean, we're not saving the world with any of this, right? But at the same time, we are changing lives, you know, and I think that's what I enjoy.
Big time. And we're a significant driver of the economy in this country too.
Right.
You know, you can't ignore it. You said change is
Inevitable.
and participation is optional, right? That's what Gary Keller says.
Okay.
So you know, absolutely, some things you cannot stop, but some things you have, you know, the option to decide what you want to do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's, you know, again, it's always, you know, since I started, I don't know any better but change in real estate.
Exactly.
You mentioned the pandemic, you know, I remember we had to sign those Avid forms, you know, and with those you can show properties.
The PED.
Oh, it was the PED, yeah,
the PED, yeah.
I'm sorry. The PED, yeah, the PED, right, we can get into properties for those. Now it's, you know, by representation agreements.
Exactly,
Right?
same mindset.
So for me, it's just, okay, this is just the next thing. So it's almost a blessing and a curse. I mean, I'm naive, so let's just do it. You know?
And it's back to humility. Like, okay, hey, look, if this is where the water are going, I'm gonna figure out a way to go with it.
Right? Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, just give me the rules of engagement, give me the rules of the game.
Exactly.
Let's play. Yeah. So let's dance.
That's exactly. Well, it is 2024, the year of the Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
You know, so I can't wait to see. First of all, I'm excited to work together, you know, with you, with us, the team, support you, support your business, support your group,
Right.
and see what Plascencia is gonna bring on next.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you doing this. I mean, what am I, the guinea pig for this?
for the new design, the new spot.
Yeah, I appreciate you inviting me to this. This was actually pretty humbling experience. You know, never done something like this, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And glad to be at the new office here. So
yeah,
it's gonna be awesome.
Well, Emilio Plascencia, the man, the myth. So appreciate you. Thanks for your time, and looking forward to do great things together, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks everybody. Thanks for being here. Make it a good Friday.
Have a good one.